Come and take a seat while I bring the heat. I'm your host with the most. My name is Dizzy, and I'm definitely going to keep you busy. 100% I'm going to keep you busy. Yeah, that's all right. My name is Dizzy, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the planet, whatever time you're watching this. We've got something special. So we talk about different subjects, and we're in September now, and the subject, the topic of this month is contribution. And why is contribution important, and how can you contribute? And we're going to have someone special, someone who's very dear to me in my life, because I've known him for 17 years. He's been transforming my life ever since I met him. It's the one and only Kalpesh Patel.
Boom! Good morning, Dizzy Taylor. How are you, my brother?
Well, you know what? This is a recording, by the way. So all of you that think this is live, we're not live, but we'll pretend it's live, okay? But anyway, this morning I said to my wife,
recorded live.
It's recorded live, yes. But I said to my wife this morning, how about this it's a Saturday morning? How we're going to start my Saturday? I'm going to have a conversation with Kalpesh Patel about what does contribution mean, and how can we transform something about contribution in our life from today till next week. And we started the call with a song that was very dear, an album, should I say, is very dear to us, by John Legend, Get Lifted. And, you know, Kalpesh, first of all, let me acknowledge you for bringing me on board to this part of your journey, because what it's done for me, and I had a conversation with someone else this morning. I said, contribution, what it's done for me in my life, the moment you said, Dizzy, come as an ambassador on World Transformation Organization, it gave me a bigger cause than me. And every speaker, a lot of the seminars that I've been to, everyone always says, you have to have something bigger than yourself in order for you to expand. You know, if you are the sole beneficiary of your activity, you're going to grow that big. But if your beneficiary list increases, the wider it goes, the bigger it goes, the more important it becomes. And I can categorically, physically say it's true, because the moment you invited me and I accepted the journey of contributing to the children of Delhi in the slums, everything has expanded in my life. Every area of life is expanding, from finance to spirituality to every area, because my vision of what I want to achieve is so great, so ginormous, that's contribution. And I've only experienced that level of growth. So I want to acknowledge you for that, because I get it. I get it. I am here because of how I'm going to contribute to the world. And as a result, we're doing sit down Sundays on Saturday. And you know why? Because we can. We can. And we will. So if you're watching this right now and you think other people need to see it, pause, share it, call people and say, hey, listen, have you seen what's going on here? Have you seen it? So Kalpesh, contribution, my friend. You've contributed a lot to me, but I'm going to leave the floor to you now, because I've done my bit.
You've done more than your bit, Dizzy. Thank you so much for a beautiful introduction. And I'm honored to have you on my journey with me. On this beautiful path that we call life. I bumped into all those years ago, middle of Trafalgar Square, 2003 or 4, around that time. I think it's 4, wasn't it? Yeah, around that time. And it's been a forever friendship, brothers from another mother. We've traveled the world, we've laughed too much, we've cried a little bit, and there are memories in between that don't even exist anymore, that just contribute to the whole process of what it is to be around amazing people. And you are one of life's amazing ones. I'm so blessed that the universe sent you into my life all those years ago. You are one of the handful of people that has consistently hung around, as I like to say. Many come and go, many transient relationships come through your life and pass through, and they add their bit and you add your bit, and then we go our own ways.
Yeah,
you're one of the special souls that has continuously just shared the whole from day dot, the whole process. That's a beautiful thing, right?
Oh yeah, and we are in a beautiful place now, and we said the other day, this is 17 years preparation. Right now, what we're experiencing is 17 years preparation for now. And the funny thing is, there are so many people that were on that journey from the beginning, from 17 years ago, and it's a case of how many people are still there, how many people have held that vision to this length, and obviously maybe we'll awaken some of those people if they get to see it. If that happens, it's only a good thing,
As I go through life and I kind of look at those moments, and I found myself and I found my grand vision quarter of a century ago in 1995 is when where does anyone find their grand vision? I found my grand vision when I was a little kid. But I lost it along the way after I lost my dad. 3 years of absolute self-destruction meant that I lost the vision, and then I picked it back up again when I was 26 years old, and that was thanks to somebody that was committed to me more than I was committed to myself, and she contributed to me. She dragged me kicking and screaming to a seminar when I was at the lowest point of my life. Like I was burying myself in my room in darkness, in dark thoughts. The only time I would ever surface or go out was to get drunk, ridiculously drunk with friends, to the point of even on occasion unconsciousness. I remember one point my friends literally left me outside my front door because they were too scared to face my parents, and they just rang the bell, got in the car and drove off. I was in that kind of state. So I was going through that phase of life when a beautiful young lady appeared in my life, and these angels do, don't they? From time to time, the universe sends the right people to say, right, mate, that's enough of that. And she contributed. She dragged me kicking and screaming to an event 2 hours away, and the whole time we were driving up there, I was just like really not good company. And I got to this event, and it was just a moment, boom, just a moment. I walk into this room, must have been 1,000 odd people, 800 to 1,000 people in a room, and they're happy, they're hugging, they're clapping, they're cheering, they're smiling. And I'm like, almost like I had a moment of, I belong here. Like, that used to be me. And I've forgotten for 3 years who I was. And so contribution can happen in so many different ways. And for me, that was contribution. Her saying, Kalpesh, we're going. I said, no, you go. Tell me what it's about afterwards. She said, no, you're coming with me. Get dressed. I'm not leaving till we go. And if I'm late, you're not going to hear the end of it. And off I went.
And here we are today, eh? So look, right now, anyone who's in a dark place in your life, because look, right now we're in trying times, and I think I get lots of people messaging me worried about me, and I'm saying, look, you don't need to worry about me. You need to worry about yourself. Okay? I know me. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know what I'm scared of. I know what I'm empowered with. Everyone knows. And you once you realize you have a choice, I said to my friend, I said, look, you may be worried about what other people think. Okay. I'm not. I'm not worried about what anyone thinks. I'm only worried about what I think, because it's only my thinking that's going to create anything. Nobody else can think stuff for you,
Yeah.
So if you're in a dark place, one moment can change it. I know for you it was a seminar. For somebody else, it might be, like you said, there might be somebody in your life right now that wants better for you than you want for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you have that person, grab their hands. And
absolutely.
If you're kicking and screaming, it doesn't matter. Go, because there will always be people that want better for you. They'll always be there. You just got to take their hand and
let them in. Let them contribute.
Let them contribute. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing because that was a moment that set off a series of moments thereafter where I think one of the biggest learnings was just how irresponsible I was towards life and myself. And I decided to take responsibility for my feelings, my thoughts, who I was, how I was showing up. You know, and in that room, I had a decision to make. It was there. It was a sliding doors moment. I was like, do I carry on down this 3-year road of darkness that I felt like a victim in, powerless, useless, and worthless? Or do I make a decision? Do I make a commitment for something different? And I'm looking around, and there's evidence all around me that I exist in that. And I related to myself as that. And I'm like, okay, Kalps, well, if that's who you are, and this is who you're being right now, there's a gap. What are you going to do about it? And that was it, man. That's it. I made the decision. Right, no more. Made the decision.
How did you bridge that gap? So, say for example, someone's had 35 years worth of misery. Yeah, and they're holding on to that. Like after 35 years, you think it's part of the
deal,
right? It's part of the furniture.
It's real. Yeah.
So how can someone dissolve that? I mean, obviously,
that's called keeping it real for too long. Oh, we laugh, but we can relate. You know, we do it, don't we? As human beings, we do that. And one of the things that I'm so blessed, like really, I cannot be grateful enough ever, is the gifts that I have been. I won't say gifts I've been given. The gifts I've taken from the universe, I think, is a better way, because again, it's about responsibility. We can all take these gifts. They exist for all of us.
Yeah.
Nobody gets given the gift. You've got to take the gift. It's there all the time, right?
Yeah.
When I decided to take the gift, I've just distinguished that one as well. I was going to say the gift I've been given, right? It's a gift that I've taken, and I've harnessed, I've enhanced, I've improved, I've worked on it day in, day out to master this thing called thinking.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is, for me, it was a gap in my thoughts. Like I saw that I created the past 3 years. And the minute I said, I'm owning this, like, right, if I did all of that, because my brother lost his dad too. My brother didn't do that. My brother took another path, right? We both took different paths. Same event. My brother decided to grab a hold of the mast inside a family. He got really close to mum. He just got married a month before my dad passed away. And his decision was to go down the spiritual path. And mine was to go down the numbing the pain path. And so the same event, the same loss, the same pain, completely two different outcomes. And so for me, it was always clear every day for those 3 years that we lived together. So for 3 years, I saw my mum, who had lost her husband, her love of her life, had been widowed at a very, very young age, in her 40s, smiling and owning it. I saw my brother smiling and owning it. I saw my sister-in-law, who had just come into the family, smiling and owning it. They had a baby. They were enjoying. Life was moving on, and I was witnessing all of this. And every celebration that was happening, I was watching it, but from afar, distanced myself, and I was punishing myself. I just didn't see that as a choice. I saw that as it happened to me. Life happened to me, and it didn't happen to them. I didn't distinguish that until when I went to that seminar, and for whatever reason, it suddenly made sense. The light appeared, and I was like, hold on a second. I could be that person. I could be that person. Why am I being this person? What the hell have I been playing at? And it's that owning it, taking responsibility. And it's not easy to do, especially the longer you leave it. I mean, 3 years was tough enough. 35 years, you've got work to do. And it's not necessarily, the decision is overnight. Once you make the decision, get to work. Full immersion. Surround yourself with people that get it. Surround yourself with people that are committed to the better you. Immerse yourself in language, like listen to great audios, watch awesome videos, watch stuff like this, read amazing books, and show up for your life, right? Showing up here is showing up, share and sharing. So show up and share. I often talk about, this whole process of success. What is success in any area of your life? It's showing up for yourself and for others, sharing yourself. And success is inevitable. Success in your relationships, success in your health, success in your wealth, success in your growth and development, for me, if you show up and you start sharing, because a lot of people know it all, right? They show up in terms of they're listening, they're watching, they're reading, but their life still sucks. It's the same. Nothing changes. It changes when you share.
Yeah. Because essentially when you share, you're making yourself accountable, right?
Right.
And
Accountable. And also when you communicate what's in here, through here, there's a manifestation process that takes place. The universe starts to listen. It needs to know that you're serious, and it needs to know that you believe in what you're saying and that you mean it, and that you're committed to it. And it takes a while sometimes to get to that point where the universe says, yeah, all right then, mate. You mean it. Go on, you can have it.
I know what you mean.
But people give up along the way.
I won't say exactly what it is, right? But I did this. I mean, look, for me, the visualization exercise, I started learning about at 19 because I noticed something happened. I thought about something and it happened. And I was actually in the salon. I was 17. No, I was 19. And I said to my mate who was training me, I said, yo, I just thought about something and it happened. And he went, yeah, and? I said, well, what if that really works? What if it actually is a thing? How about that? And he went, shut up, man. So anyway, I tried it. And the thing was, and I've shared this before, I'll just quickly share it because it's relevant. I thought about, I want to meet a 32-year-old woman. I was a young, hungry hairdresser. Yeah, I loved cutting hair and I love ladies. So I thought to myself, being a minute 32, and I thought, okay, to meet a woman age of 32 in a salon is easy. There's no coincidences in that. So I said to my mate, I said, this is the experiment. I want a 32-year-old woman to ask me out for dinner. Yeah? I'm going to think about that. Let's see if it happens. Anyway, so we sat in the shop, and then my boss, Lynn, she goes, Dizzy, do something to attract some more customers into the shop. And I was like, okay. I had an idea. So I went to the news agents next door, and I bought some chalk, and outside the shop, I do two eyes and a smiley face on the floor, right? Anyway, so as I finished doing the smiley face, this lady walked past and she stopped and she went, that's a really good idea. I said, oh yeah? I said, you like it? She went, yeah, it's really cool. I said, does it make you want to come in for a haircut? She went, no, I don't want to have a haircut. I was like, okay. She goes, but what are you doing on Sunday? I said, nothing. What did you have in mind? She goes, do you fancy coming for something to eat? So I looked at my clock. It's 7 minutes, yeah, since we started this experiment. And I said to her, yeah, I don't mind. I said, I don't normally ask ladies how old they are, but how old are you, please? And she went, I'm 32. And I was like, wow.
No.
And you know the funniest part, Kalpesh, this lady that I met, you know her brother.
I do. You told me the story. I do.
You know the story, so I won't go any further. But listen, that was a moment that.
And this was before we knew each other.
Yeah. And the thing was that what that led to was me going to a seminar. I went to a seminar, and basically it was a network marketing company that she worked for, New Skin, and they invited me to a training. Like later on today, we've got a leadership training, right?
Yeah, we have.
This was a physical training in Southall, Broadway,
wow.
on top of the kebab shop. It was classroom setting, and we did arrow breaking and we did board breaking, right? And at the end of it, everyone was so gassed up. They were like, "All right, so if I organize a fire walk barefooted, how many of you'd be up for it?" Everyone put their hands up. Everyone was like, "Come on, we're ready. We'll do anything." And then he went, and our friend Raj, you know Raj?
Yeah.
So he turned up and he went, right, can everyone get your New Skin packs out? So I was the only person, right, that didn't have a box.
Oh, brilliant.
He went, where's your pack, mate? And I said, oh, I don't have one. He goes, oh, you'll have to buy one then. I said, how much is it? He went, £55. I said, no, thanks, mate. Really good seminar, mate. That was so good. And really thank you for the food. But what happened at that moment, and like I said, this relates to contribution, because what they contributed to my life then was, I believed before I went in there that thoughts become things. Okay. all that happened here was it reinforced that to the point where for the next 2 years, from 19 until 21, I had this theory that if you made eye contact with me, you had a message for me.
Wow.
And I had a message for you. He was standing in the queue in Halifax. Bless this person. They just turn around and look at me. Hi. Hi. How you doing? And obviously, you know, in London, you can't just talk to people. Everyone wonders what you're after. But it was such a beautiful part of my life because I had the ability I had this theory where life, you're on a conveyor belt and you ask for things, you think about it, and then it just turns up. And you have to be awake. Yeah. Whatever you ask for, you've got to be awake. Because if you ask for it, it'll turn up. You asked for that, mate. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Yeah, someone sent me a video about how to manifest, right? And I said, look, no offense, but you don't need to teach me how to manifest. And in fact, you don't need to learn how to manifest because you're manifesting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can't stop. Yeah. Look at what you've manifested in your life already. Okay. If you want to change what you have in your life, you need to change what you're thinking about. Change your focus, figure it out. And, you know, all of that only became apparent once I went to I don't know, I was 19, accidentally got to a seminar and I got exposed to information that contributed to my life. And obviously 19 and then another 5 years. I met you when I was 26. So it was another 7 years till I met you. And that, you know what it was at that point at Tony Robbins' seminar, I didn't realize that was a career option to get paid to talk. And then after the seminar, I met you in Trafalgar Square. And when you said you were a motivational speaker, oh, mate, I was made up. I was like, wow, that's that what you do? Give me a job, please, mate. And you know the rest, mate.
The rest, as they say, is history in the making.
It's like a dog with a bone, mate. Come on, please.
Oh, you mentioned by accident, and you know, I know you already know this, but for those who are listening, I mean, even accident, you know, by accident, what does that even mean, right? So, you know, there's nothing by accident, right? So everything's happening on purpose. It's just happening. Yeah, it's just happening without your awareness. And so that's why it looks like an accident. But once you wake up and you realize that there's a purpose to what's happening, good, bad, and ugly, all of it. And this is part of responsibility. When you own everything, own who you are, own your circumstances, own your environment, own all of the experiences, then you start shifting the way that you are receiving from the universe. So the universe is contributing to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from the minute you take birth till the minute you leave, right? And during that little window, very, very small window, 80 to 100, maybe 120 years, that little window, for me, it's like the way I see it is our job as humans is to wake up to that exchange, that interaction, and then start. So manifestation, as you said beautifully, is always happening all the time anyway. And then when you wake up, you just start to manage what you're allowing to manifest and what you're disallowing to manifest. You're now choosing from the menu. There's a menu available. You just don't know there's a menu. So you're just eating whatever comes your way. But when you wake up, you go, oh, do you know, I don't want that. I want that. No, I don't want that either. And you start choosing. And it doesn't happen overnight for everybody like it did for you in 7 minutes. That's awesome. But it does happen. The science is the same. The science is no different. Just how clear your mind is and how quickly you can connect to that frequency and start seeing the things that you're committed to seeing. So get committed to seeing something better. See a better version of yourself and be a better version of yourself for the world. And that's contribution, right? If you can start receiving contribution from the universe, then you can start sharing contribution with others. And so, you know, allow to be contributed to yourself, and then you can become a contributor like that. It's not even, there's no gap between receiving and giving. Then you become what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you become the
sliding door. The
Sliding
transition.
door is experience, right? You become a transistor. Is that
Okay.
yeah? You become the method of communication from the universe that, hey guys, it is possible. And it happens through people sharing. Like when you share what happened to you in 7 minutes of universe, I want this. Let's see what happens. And boom, 7 minutes later, the universe goes, here you go. Are you ready to be awake, or do you still want to be asleep? And in that moment, you could have gone, oh, that was a coincidence. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing for me. I always say to people, look, what is a coincidence? Do you just brush it off and say, or do you look at it? Is that what is going on here? Because it's like magic.
It is magic. It's I always say, don't I, curious mind. Like we stop being curious for some reason. When we're babies, we're born curious. We're absorbing all of it. Babies are absorbing their environment. They're just a sponge, and they're curious. They're curious what fire is. Curious enough to put their hand in it. They're curious to know what dirt is. Curious enough to eat it. They're curious to know. They're just curious. They're just, and then life shapes us, and we become less and less curious. And people often say, "Kalps, how do you do it? How do you always manage to keep that smile on your face no matter what?" And you're always bouncing around through life. And for me, it's curiosity. Like I am committed to always being curious. And curiosity, when you're always curious, then there's no coincidence. And the term for coincidence, where does the word come from? Latin word. It comes from to coincide. And so it's a perfect meeting of two lines of trajectories coming together. There's a coinciding of events. That's a coincidence. It's perfect. It's divine. It couldn't be any other way. So the way we relate to coincidence, when the actual word comes itself from perfection.
Yeah.
So there's no coincidence. When you think of a friend, they call you, you're tuning in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, can you see I've got a new aerial at the back there?
Yeah, I can see that.
There
you go.
Pick up direct, I'll just stick it up like
that. Fantastic. There you go. Whatever you got to do, right? Whatever you got to do, man. Make it real. Make it real. If you got to stick an aerial on the back of your head, so be it.
And you know what? Many years ago, Kalpesh, I would never ever. When I met you, I didn't have any hair. Okay, and I didn't even think I could have a hairstyle because I'd lost this part of my hair, but it grew at the back. Because it grew at the back, I've done loads with it. So
I love it. There we go. Having fun with it, right? Beautiful. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about contribution, how we can contribute to the world. So I often talk about this concept of, and I say I often talk about, when I say that, it's not a new concept at all, but it's just raising awareness again. So allowing to be contributed to. So first stage of contribution is receiving, and then the second is, who are you sharing with? And there's a lot of people that find it easy to contribute to a stranger because there's no emotional connection, no emotional ties. They'll get excited about giving a stranger a coffee on the street and make a big song and a dance about it. And when they get home, they're miserable as shit, and they make the lives of those around them complete hell. So it's like, what? Hold on, they're sharing on Facebook how they gave somebody a sandwich, and it's a false sense of feeling good, right? It's like, so I kind of call this out. I'm like, listen, mate. Congratulations, you're able to do that, but that's so the furthest end of contribution that you can reach. Yeah, it's like, how's life at home? How's life closer to home? The people you're spending your time with every day, are they feeling contributed to? What is the contribution you are to them? Like, I want to know that first. Then we can talk about how you go around feeding homeless people and Basket Brigade and all the other wonderful. Congratulations. Show me what's under the hood.
That's when it gets real, eh?
Yeah.
And you know what, Kalps, I'm glad you're saying that, because there's so many people that don't talk about this. We live in an age where I've only just recently come back onto social media, but one of the things that I didn't want to do is I didn't want to paint an image that it wasn't real, because everyone has rubbish moments in their life. Yeah, it's not just good news. It's a roller coaster. And you've got to embrace everything.
Yeah, 100%. And so for me, like, have a look at, like, get real with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you contributing? Because if you're a vehicle for contribution, once you understand this dynamic that you're receiving and giving all day long, every day for the rest of your life. What are you receiving and what are you giving? Like, what are you listening to daily? What are you watching daily? What are you reading daily? What are you experiencing daily? What are the conversations you're having with yourself about stuff every day? That will shape what then emits, right? So what you get clear about is what radiates out of you, what emits. Is we're all carriers of signals, right? We're energy. So when you receive energy and then you emit energy, it's like we're transmitters of, right? So if you're receiving an energy and then you're turning that into something that's disempowering, then that's what you'll do to your environment. You'll create a disempowering environment.
And that's even if you're saying the opposite, right?
Doesn't matter. Don't we know people like that? Don't we know people all over the world? Everybody knows somebody that knows everything, and their life is shit. Don't we?
If you looked at their whole life every single day, you'd say, mate, you work for a bank. You're a banker, mate. You're a banker. Right?
You'd be seeing them every Tuesday, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, these moments come to us to there's no coincidence you're watching this video.
Yeah.
If you're watching this video, there's no coincidence, but are you going to really embrace what's being shared here and use that? Are you going to get curious and use that as a way to help yourself to help the world? All right.
Caps, I'll hold my hands up. I'm guilty of some of the stuff you've said already. Yeah. We all are.
That's the nature of it, is that.
Yeah. You've got to admit it yourself.
100%.
And work on yourself. I know.
And it's a daily. Yeah. When you say work on yourself, there's no, like, people think, and again, this is where it's missold. Come to my seminar, I'm going to fix you. Bullshit. No, you're not. I'm going to give you access to information. I'm going to share stuff with you that will become tools for you. But you have to do this, and you have to do it every day if you're committed to a greater purpose, if you're committed to greater good, if you're committed to being a better version of yourself. It's not like, oh, you put the toast and it comes out done. No, you're raw again the next day. You've got to go back in the toaster again next day and the day after. And for the rest of your life, you'll be toasting yourself so that you can keep the sword sharp, right?
That's the conversation I had with my friend this morning. I said, once you get to a certain level, you've done what you wanted to do. Guess what? There's more work to do. You're working on yourself continuously. You never make it.
Yeah, there is no making it. There's just being a better version. And there's infinite better versions forever. There is no like, just it's a forever conversation, isn't it? You could spend your entire life every single day being a different version of yourself and still not find all versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So it all boils down to, what are you committed to? What do you want to experience? And then think that stuff, consume yourself with thinking about it, consume yourself with sharing about it, and consume yourself with interpreting everything with that reference as a backdrop. Even the hardest stuff to interpret, I often talk about this and it freaks people out in my live seminars. And, people don't get it. What if things like murder and rape and wars also added value? Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about high level stuff. I'm saying you can handle all of that and interprets it in a way that leaves you empowered versus disempowered. And you get to choose. You get to choose.
Because that level of thinking is available, right?
Correct.
It just depends whether you choose to engage at that level or not. And it is a level. It's a level of how evolved your thinking is, because a lot of people say everything's God willing, right? Well, if everything's God willing, which bit are you complaining about?
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is. If everything's supposed to help you, you got to ask yourself, okay, look, whenever something really terrible happens, and I remember when I lost my driving license on June the 7th, I asked myself as I come out the court, and I'm thinking, wow, I've just lost my license for 6 months. My business partner messaged me saying, right, you've not been in the shop for 2 years. You need to decide which shop you want to be in, Manchester or Preston. And then my wife sent me a message after that saying, I've had enough. You're never at home. Decide what you want to do with your life. I'm sick of it. So I was in the car with my dad, and I said to my dad, he goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, I got some really nice messages off my business partner and my wife."
I love it. Do you see?
But then, so see what I did at that point, I realized, okay, this is perfect because now I can't drive to Preston.
Yeah.
I can choose. Listen, mate, I'm coming back to Manchester. All right. Thank you for this. And then I realized, well, if I'm coming back to Manchester, that means I'm going to spend more time at home, which is the exact problem that my wife had with me when she messaged me. So I thought to myself, wow, I was holding on to this business in Preston. It was so important to me. I didn't want to let go of it. So the universe said, right, I'm going to just have to take your license off you, mate. You're not listening here. You're not listening. You're not listening to what's going on. So guess what? I'm going to take your license off you for something really petty. Yeah. I was doing 36 in a 30 zone and ended up getting banned for 6 months. Right.
Wow.
How does that happen? Right.
Wow. That happens when the universe is sending you a message, doesn't it?
Well, anyway, I got the message and I said, thank you. And I called my wife. I didn't tell my wife I was going to court that morning. Right. She goes, "Oh, you're dressed up really nice." I just thought I'd dress up nicely today. Bless my wife. She's a warrior. Okay. So I made her worry extra. So
what, a warrior marries a warrior. That's a good one, isn't it?
Beautiful.
It is
anyway,
beautiful.
So we came out. So when I called her, I said, "Oh, by the way, I got dressed up this morning." She went, "Yeah." I said, "Cool." So I got 6 months. She goes, "You sound very too happy to be banned." I said, "Listen, it was perfect. It's all perfect." And she didn't get it at the time, but I got it. I got it at that moment because I just saw the beauty of it. Because now that 6 months that I was banned from driving, I had to walk from my house to the top of my road, and there were all these shops that I used to drive past.
Wow.
That I never knew. So I went in, and there's a Jewish delicatessen, right? And I went inside and said hello, and I saw something I've never seen in my life, ever, to eat, right? It was egg mayo with spring onion. Never seen it in my life. Apparently it's a Jewish thing. So I started talking to this guy. I had it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But that was possible because of the ban, right? And then I drove, I got a tube into town for 6 months. It was summertime in Manchester. It was the best time ever.
Look at that.
For me, I get constant reminders that, listen, everything is designed for you, mate. Yeah. You just got to figure out, what do you want to do? Yeah. And what are you scared of? Thankfully, I've been blessed to acknowledge so many magical moments in my life. And through the seminars, I've looked at how perfect my whole life has been. So I'm very comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Oh, I don't have any anxiety about anything.
No, same. You said something a bit earlier. I'm just going to touch on that because it resonated as well, where you lose stuff. You lost something. You lost your driving license. And in my world, you don't lose anything.
No.
You don't lose anything. Right?
No.
I've made fortunes and I've managed to get rid of them real quick as well. But I've been all right with it. And people are like, how do you survive something like that? And I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Like, it's a non-event. It does, because I'm not attached to all of that. It doesn't matter. I can manifest stuff and I can, exactly. So just the dynamics, like play with it. You came with nothing, you're going to go with nothing. There's zero. We're always just like, having the experience. That's all life is a bunch of experiences, and not to get attached to the experiences is key. So stuff comes and stuff goes, big deal. It's just another experience. Just another window to taste something that you haven't tasted before. Egg mayo with spring onion. I'm in. Let's go experience that. Yeah. You know me more than most, right? I'm an experiencer. I want to taste everything life has to offer as much as possible before I die. That's kind of my way. Like I want it all. I want all of it. Give it to me. Well, if you say I want all of it, give it to me, it's going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's delusional to think that that I want it all equals everything's just one way.
Yeah.
Oh, you can have that. How boring is that? How boring would it be to have become a millionaire, bought yourself all the toys, and then that's it. That's the constant for the rest of your life. You're living in fear and the false illusion of security. So you instantly, by default, become small. I've seen this in a lot of people. I've got a lot of people that have deep pockets and have all the stuff, and their life is shit. Why? Because they get so attached to how their life is that they stop living. They don't know what it is to live anymore. They're repeating their same life. They go to the same holidays every year. They eat in the same restaurants every day, and that's fine, but sounds really boring to me. Right?
Where's the fun?
Yeah. It's like, come on, you were here to experience stuff and to have fun and, you know, learn and grow and be like whatever you want to be, all of it, right? And so for me, that's contribution. When you can add value, you're not adding any value when life becomes the same. And the minute you're not adding value, when you're protecting what you've got, and then you start playing it safe, and you start playing it secure, and you become somebody that's just you become a part of the furniture. And cool, nothing wrong with that. But goodness, you had an opportunity. Yeah, small window, 80 to 120 years.
Been a person, he ended up becoming a sofa, right?
Yeah,
you could have done something amazing. But
yeah. So you know, it's as we like to say often, isn't it? We're here for a good time, not a long time. And so, you know, just don't sell yourself short, I think is my message. Contribution is in everything every day, and become the kind of person that contributes in every interaction. Like what you shared in the bank. You're sitting there, you're standing in a queue, somebody catches your eye and you're, hello. That's contribution. Doesn't matter what they do. So what if nobody says hello to each other in London? Big deal. Big freaking deal. You did, right? So you're right. You don't do that in London unless you're Dizzy, or unless you're Kalpesh, or unless you're you. Then you do that if you want, or you don't. Then you become the same as everybody else. Everyone's too scared to say anything to anyone else because it's not appropriate. Congratulations. Live an appropriate life, and you'll die too, and I'll die, and I'll have died an inappropriate life, and you'll have died an appropriate life, and that's it. That's the end of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
End of chapter and verse.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you want to contribute to the world? Who are you for the world?
You're
just a little
exercise for those of you watching. Think about how would you like to leave, what impact you want to have on the world? Because I remember in Cape Town, I got held at gunpoint once, and at that time in life, I only spoke to my parents once every 3 months. I spoke to anybody once every 3 months, and I thought, wow, this guy shot me in the head. Who would have known? And what would I have left behind? And I'm not joking. I went home. Obviously, I survived. I went home, and I thought to myself, I thought to myself, wow, what would I have left behind? So I designed a seminar. I started writing the books. I started just emptying stuff out of me. And fortunately now I've taken enough out of me, put it onto paper, put it onto video that you can't kill me now. You can't. It's impossible.
You become eternal.
Yeah, I've become eternal because I'm leaving a piece of me with everyone I meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the current state. But before that, I thought, let me write a book. And when I meet people, I say, let me give you a piece of me. Here, look, this is something I've done for the world that's going to outlive me. Beautiful. Because the thing is, we can all do it. We all have it in us that, you know, there's something you can leave the world, whatever it is. You might leave a son or a daughter. Yeah, whoever it is, whatever it is you want to contribute to, you can. And you know, this is
our way of contributing, right? This moment, this exchange right here. And again, if you felt even an inkling of curiosity to go deeper into the rabbit hole of self-awareness, then jump in with both feet and share this video and, you know, get into the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can contact us through this video anyway. You can leave a comment on the chat. We'll contact you, man, because this is happening real life, man. We're on this journey right now. And you know, speaking about, you know, moments when we came to London, my wife and my son, we were on the tube, and just that thing about acknowledging somebody. There was one gentleman, an old guy, and he was holding a negative up, yeah. And I have this thing, and it says it on my arm, yeah. Well, not this one, or this one. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, it's written backwards, but it says, "Say what you see," okay? Because if you say what you see, it will show you how the magic of life is in the now, okay? So I said what I saw, and I said to the guy, I said, "Wow, is that a negative for a photograph?" And he said, "Yeah, it is." I said, "You don't see that much often now, do you, eh?" And we had an amazing conversation. And that conversation led to us talking about an idea of making a documentary about this current state of time we're living in. And I said to him, I said, "You know what, for me, right now, this current 18 months we've lived in is the greatest time to have ever lived on earth. The greatest time to ever live." And because we were talking about the documentary, he said to me, "You know what, you should call that the name, that should be the title of your documentary." Now, this individual, I will never meet him again. But how did he contribute? He contributed in that moment to the title of the documentary. And the title of the documentary is The Greatest Time to Ever Live. We're going to select 16 individuals from around the world who are going to explain their experience of life in the last 18 months. Not mentioning any companies or anything, just talking about, whilst this was going on for everybody else, what happened to you? What was your mindset? Why was it's the greatest time to ever live for you? We've got people from India, Africa, the UK, all these people are going to be interviewed, and it's going to be a question of why. Yeah. You tell us, why is it the greatest time to ever live? Because there are lots of people right now in the media, everywhere, on social media, everywhere, that are saying, "Oh, it's stressful." It's a choice. You know, we're talking about a choice. We're talking about contribution. That individual on the tube for that 5 minutes, whatever, how long have we spoke, gave me one contribution, which was the contribution was the title.
Here's another contribution.
There's another contribution. So this is mine and my wife's contribution to the planet. It's my son, and I love him more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. And who's this individual here?
Kalpesh Patel.
Yay.
Right. Have you got a message for the world?
Yeah.
Go on.
Thank you, Kalpesh Patel, for hyperphone.
Oh.
So beautiful. I do love you. Mwah. Okay then. If you must.
So you've been a special feature on the show today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for contributing your young soul to everybody else. And
that's
thank you, Mommy. Right, you don't have to apologize. He gave he contributed to the contribution.
He's become part of the future history.
Yeah, he is the future history. I mean,
in the making.
It was funny. I said to him the other day, "Daddy, just guess what, Jaden? Daddy did this." He, "Well, guess what? I'm going to do that." Like, go on, son. Go on, son. Whatever I give you, whatever life gives you, whatever you find, guess what?
Oh, fantastic.
Step it up a bit more. Step it up more. Step it up more.
Mate. So, look, I think
that's a wrap.
Beautiful. Yeah, we've shared some beautiful pointers, which I always like to say, you know, when people start telling you what to do and how to do it, slippery road, step away. You know, for me, it's about discover yourself. It's your path. Every single one of us has our own path. Don't kind of get caught into any one thing. Don't get caught into a groove. Like, just be curious, be open, and go inwards. And just ask yourself. Just keep asking yourself. Okay, like Dizzy just beautifully captured 2 messages. Right, what's the universe saying to me here? My business partner's having a beautiful message. My partners send me a beautiful message, and then beautiful outcomes come. Right, otherwise it would have been like arguments with the business partner, arguments with the home partner. Could have been a disaster zone, right? People do that. We do that. We turn things into disaster zones.
The funny thing was, Cal, they were both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
One thing was him. Where are you? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know. So look, as we end this call, you know what? I want to leave everybody with something special, okay? And this is something that I normally play at the beginning, but for some reason I didn't. So, where are we?
The world transformation work.
Here we go. And you know what it is? This song encompasses everything we've talked about, which is dream bigger. Dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and attention. Kalpesh, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for allowing us to contribute to the planet. So listen, we're going to leave you with this song, because this song encompasses the whole message. So people, share, and share.
This is a message for everyone who is listening. Hearts and minds connecting, building a world community. This is the moment the people are coming together. Spirit of transformation, reunite in the meaning of we. What is the biggest thing that you can dream of? What can you do to make it true? Well, Transformation Day, let's make a difference. You for me, and me for you. This is the moment, the signal, the klaxon, the ringing, the alarm to awaken, to ignite the passion within. Ready for changes, the spirit is stirred and shaken. Now we are primed to awaken. New chapters for us to begin. What is the biggest thing that you can dream of? What can you do to make it true? Well, Transformation Day, let's make a difference. You for me, and me for you. What is the biggest thing that you can dream of? What can you do to make it true? Well, Transformation Day, let's make a difference. You for me, and me for you. We can dream bigger. We open our eyes 'cause we forgot that we could see. We can dream better. We sing it aloud to be the best that we can be. Can be. Can be. What is the biggest thing that you can dream of? What can you do to make it true? Well, Transformation Day, let's make a difference. You for me, and me for you. Transformation. What is the biggest thing that you can
Thank you very much, people of the planet. Wow, that song does it for me every time. Dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Like I said, do what it said on the, what Kalpesh said, share what beautiful things that are going on in your life, because it's available for all of you.